Hey vinyl community, it's Joel from Planet 13 and I'm just displaying the albums I picked up for January 2019. Originally I only wanted to get one album a week, but if you collect vinyl that's kind of impossible. I, the reason for one vinyl a week was that I just wanted to save some money up for, because I know not Black Friday, Record Store Day in April is going to probably kill me, and probably like you or most of you, you probably there's a lot of deals Black Friday and then around Christmas time you're spending a lot of money, so you're kind of broke in some sense. So that's where I'm at, and I did all right. I only got about 9 maybe 11 albums, so not bad. I live in Canada, and fortunately the cold weather is keeping me away from the record stores. I usually have to take the bus down to my record store because parking is an issue down there. I'm a crappy parker. I cannot park for the life of me. I need like a big parking lot to park. So I just, instead of the hassle of parking on some side street and where it's covered in snow and I don't have change for the machine or whatever, I just take the bus down, and it's pretty easy taking the bus. But when it's below zero in Canada, zero is like our freezing. Um, if it's like 10 below, I just don't want to be out there, especially with the wind. So that was a benefit, but a con is that you have Amazon, and like you or many other people, I add things to my cart or wish list, and then if I see the price go down, some things you just snap on it. Some things have been in that cart for like a year, and when it came down 10 bucks, it's like, yeah, I gotta get this. So I think we're all in the same dilemma. I'm not really repeating anything new here for anyone, but enough of my babbling. This is what I picked up for January 2019. So the first one I technically bought in December, and it's Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed. I wasn't too familiar with this album, I thought, but upon hearing it, I knew every song. I guess just from live albums and compilations, I was pretty familiar with everything here. I only own 3 Stones albums aside from this, and they're on CD, so I have Stripped, and which isn't any new material, it's just an acoustic Rolling Stones concert. And then I have Exile on Main Street and Sticky Fingers. And this album was kind of in tune with Exile and Sticky Fingers. I know some Stones albums kind of vary completely different from that sound of that era, but this was in tune, so automatically I just like this album a lot. And the biggest hit off there is probably Gimme Shelter, and You Can't Always Get What You Want. But there's a country version of Honky Tonk Woman, and there is a song called Let It Bleed and Midnight Rambler, and it's just a great album overall. This I got for 16 Canadian dollars, which is probably around 12 American, and I got it on clear vinyl. And the reason why it was such a good price was that there was a 20% off sale, and it was already sitting at $19 on sale. So came to about 16, I think, with shipping and tax and all that. So good deal. And I got that in December, but it came in January. It took them about 3 weeks. And I got that off universalmusic.ca or umusic.ca. They don't often have sales. It was just, I believe, a Christmas sale. Next album I want, or got, has been on my want list for quite some time. And it is Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. So this completes my original 8 Sabbath albums with Ozzy. Not original in the sense that this is an original pressing, but just not the Ronnie James Dio years, and not the other years, not years with Ozzy coming back doing, like, I think the album is called 13. First 8 albums, I should say, just to clarify. So this was 23 Canadian. I have the other 7 that were released by Rhino, and they're all gatefolds. This unfortunately wasn't a gatefold. Didn't come with like a nice, I guess the sleeve's nice, but it's not like one of those, like a lot of albums now come with the polyline sleeve and then this sleeve, type of sleeve, like the original. This didn't. It's a non-gatefold, and that was a little bit disappointing because now the collector in me is like, I need to get the gatefold to complete my Rhino Black Sabbath, but I'm not going to. Great album though. I guess what had happened. Ozzy had left the band, and then they brought in some other singer. I'm not sure who that was off the top of my head, but then Ozzy came back and rewrote everything. And I always liked this album. I had it on CD, and I gave away my CD because I was just so sick of Sabbath. I'd listened to the first 8 albums for like a year on repeat, just one after the other. And I thought, oh, I'll never want to listen to these songs again because I'm just tired of this. And, 20 years after that, I want these songs back. So I got this album. I gave my CDs away to my nephew who loved those albums, which is great. And now my nephew's gotten into vinyl collecting too, and we kind of spur one another on. He's about 16 years younger than me, and so he's got a little bit different musical taste, but he's also picking up a lot of stuff that I want, like the Clash and Iggy Pop. So he's kind of like, I'll be like, hey man, you got any pick up any vinyl this week? And he'll send me like a Snapchat or a Facebook pic of 8 albums he's picked up, and that's another reason why I probably picked up more vinyl this month than I wanted to. So yeah, Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. Really happy to have this one. Next album I got is Aerosmith's debut album, and this was 22 Canadian. So American prices are always 25% less, essentially, with the exchange rate. And it came in this sleeve, which I think I need to replace. I think these clear ones, these clear plastic, I could be wrong. I don't really know. I've seen videos where these ruin records, so I want to get like a polyline sleeve. They ruin records in that they discolor them. So it's just something I want to make anyone watching aware of, that is a possibility with these clear ones. I don't know that one could be safe, but just to be safe, I'm going to replace those sleeves. I kind of don't want to buy a polyline sleeve because I'd rather spend that money on vinyl personally. But, I want to keep these records too in the long run. So a big hit on here is Dream On and Mama Kin. A lot of people don't like this album because Steve Tyler, I guess, was insecure with his voice at the time and sang in a lower register. I haven't given this album its due exactly yet. I've only listened to it 3 times, front to back. But, this is another album I just want to be super familiar with because I want to get every Aerosmith on vinyl, and even the ones that aren't that popular. And I know there's like 2 versions of Aerosmith in some people's eyes. There's the people who love the 70s stuff, and there's the people who love the 80s and 90s stuff. The version 2.0, I guess, Aerosmith. And then there's the people who like both, and I'm the kind of guy who likes both. But I'm more familiar with their 80s and 90s stuff because that's when I was growing up and it was on the radio more often. And then I got Aerosmith's second album, Get Your Wings. Again, I've only heard this about 3 times, and I already like it better than the debut. Right now, it seems to be like a more rockin' album, and I do like the debut, but I just think this is a little better. Interesting fact about this is that Joe Perry didn't play on every song. They had Dick Wagner and another, I don't know, I can't remember his name right now. Dick Wagner and I think his name's Steve. I can't believe I forgot. Alice Cooper's guitarist off Welcome to My Nightmare played on this. Joe Perry was always a big, not Joe Perry, Steve Tyler was always a big fan of them. And apparently they played guitar on Train Kept Rollin'. At least that's what I'm told. That's what my research showed. And then some people think they played on SOS as well. But the big hits on here are Same Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, and I think my favorite Aerosmith song, maybe tied with Dream On, is Seasons of Wither. And that's on here. And there's the back. And it comes in that clear sleeve too, so I got to replace that sleeve. Third album I picked up, surprise, surprise, Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic. And big hit on here is Toys in the Attic, Walk This Way is another one. Big 10-inch record, you hear on the radio up here at least. And Sweet Emotion, which is a huge song. And again, this album I liked a little bit better than Get Your Wings, just a little bit better. And I haven't got the 4th yet. If the 4th is really pricey up here at $34, and it's Aerosmith Rocks. And apparently that is their best album from what I've read. Right now, this is my favorite Aerosmith album for the 70s albums. But I haven't heard Draw the Line or Rocks yet either, and everyone just seems to love Rocks, and there's no big hit on there that I think that I recall. But I'm excited to get Rocks, and I could have got Draw the Line too. Draw the Line right now is sitting at $22 Canadian, but I heard it's not their best, and I'd rather hear these chronologically, so I've been picking these up in order. Usually I try to give myself 3 months to listen to an album when I pick it up chronologically, but these are all on sale. They're normally in the 30 range, so I had to get them at 20. Next album I got it off the Amazon Scratch and Dent store. It's not really called that. It's called Amazon Warehouse Deals. This was Iggy Pop's Lust for Life. The corner was dented, so I think someone just sent it back. Or maybe it got dented in shipping to and from them and then to and from me. Not really sure. This just comes in a plain polyline sleeve. Lyrics are on the back. I heard Lust for Life like a lot of people my age during the movie Trainspotting. It's like the opening track. And from there, I was always a big fan of Iggy anyway, from the Stooges. But then I was kind of more realized who Iggy Pop was through Lust for Life. I wasn't familiar with his 80s output. I didn't even know David Bowie, wrote that song at all. I had no idea until 3 years ago, really, that David Bowie and Iggy Pop, other than like China Girl, really did much together. But yeah, Bowie and Iggy Pop were staying in Germany, I believe, or Berlin. I don't know the facts completely. There's a book that I plan on picking up because that era of Bowie really fascinates me. And this is kind of like, so Bowie put out Low, and then they put out The Idiot with Iggy Pop, and they kind of complement each other. And then those are the Ying albums, and these are like the Yang albums. So this Lust for Life is a compliment to Bowie's Heroes, and Bowie kind of did both. And so they call it the Berlin trilogy of Low, Heroes, and The Lodger, but a lot of people say Lust for Life and The Idiot belong in that trilogy. But you can't call it trilogy anymore. And I just love this album. This is one that I got because of my nephew, though, because he was showing off that he got it, and I was like, oh, I got to get that album because I've been meaning to for a while. And I saw it for like 16 Canadian, which is dirt cheap. Again, that's like 12 American. And I was like, that little dent didn't really bother me. It might bother some other people. But I was like, yeah, I'll grab this. But this is released by the Four Men with Beards, who are notoriously for putting out bad pressings from what I've heard. But it sounded fine to me. Next album up is Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. So this is on 180 gram vinyl. I love the labels on here. So you got that spiral, and you got like Creepy Eddie. I can't really see him too well. You got Creepy Eddie in the bottom there. Yeah, you can see him a little good there. And then you got this Eddie figure here. So this is the metal portion of my episode. I got 2 metal albums to show off. And that's the insert here. So I don't find Iron Maiden that heavy. I don't even consider them metal anymore. I consider them more hard rock. And I am buying like every Maiden album. It's my goal. So this is my 4th one, but this is my 3rd chronologically. And I just love the artwork on here. You got Eddie kind of like being the puppet master to the devil there. But then the devil is being like the puppet master to someone here, which is like another Eddie. So we're going down the rabbit hole with that one, I guess. Great album, though. Biggest hits, of course, are Run to the Hills and Number of the Beast. Next album up is Dio. Pardon the glare here. So this is on colored vinyl. It's on like a transparent blue. And you got the Warner Brothers label there. I'm not too familiar with Dio's solo material. I know more from Black Sabbath. Like the Dehumanizer album is where I was first aware of Dio. And I'm kind of got more aware of Dio from South Park. Because they played I don't know, it was Rainbow in the Dark or another song. Holy Diver. They played Holy Diver at the kids' graduation dance, which was kind of funny. And that's kind of how I found out more about Dio, other than like the Sabbath stuff. So I don't have Holy Diver on vinyl or CD or cassette. This is my first Dio album, and I got it because of the song Last in Line, and I got it because it was on color vinyl. And Last in Line is just a rocking song. So you had Dio, and you had Vivian Campbell, who's currently in Def Leppard, and he's in a band called Last in Line, which is the original lineup of this. Sort of. They don't have Dio singing, and they had Jimmy Bain on bass, but he passed away in 2016. So they have another bassist from Ozzy Osbourne, who played with Ozzy Osbourne. And then you have Victor, let's see, Vinny Appice on, or Appice. I don't know how you say it. I know there's similar drummers, but you have him who played with the band Heaven and Hell, and he's on drums. His brother is a famous drummer too. I believe he's played in a lot of early 70s bands like Humble Pie. So this is a rockin' album. First song is called We Rock, and they mean it. So great album. Not really that heavy metalish. I'd say it's more rock by today's standards. And glad I picked that up. So that concludes the metal portion of my video. But second to last album I got was Primus Pork Soda. So they reissued all these Primus albums, except Sailing the Seas of Cheese. That's the one Primus album I really want, but I got this instead. It's got Mr. Crinkle, I think it's, yeah, Mr. Crinkle, and My Name is Mud on here. It's 2 LP. This came down to 26 Canadian for double LP. That's pretty good. It's normally at 34. So I grabbed it. And that's my first Primus album ever. All I had before was just some Primuses on some soundtrack albums or compilations. So I'm glad I picked that up. And final album I got off the Amazon Scratch and Dent store again. This is Jack White's Lazaretto. So I got this for 20 Canadian, which is like 15 American. And it's something I've hum and hawed about before. I think someone returned it because this album has a lot of secrets on it. And the first secret is that the album side A plays from the inside out. So track one there, side one there. If you put the needle on the outside, it just goes into a lock groove, and maybe the person who got this thought it was broken. So the lock groove just plays like this guitar riff over and over again. So you have to put the needle at the edge there to hear the song. And you also have a hologram in the dead wax, which I can't really show. It's not really showing up. But there's a hologram of an angel there. You can kind of see it up top, barely though. So there's a hologram on that, so that's another secret. This is a 3-speed album, so it plays at 33. But one of the labels on this side plays at 45. And the second side, there's a label, like those box cut labels you got in cereal boxes. They're kind of like paper over plastic, sort of. But I think they did something with the label that it sounded a little bit better, but it doesn't sound that great. You can YouTube it if you want to hear it. So that plays at a different speed, I think 78, 77, 76. I don't know the exact speed. My album record player won't play at that speed, so I can't hear it anyway. And I don't want to damage my needle. I don't think you would. Some people say you could. And then this has a lock groove in the center of birds. And there's a couple other secrets on there. Well, this came with a download card, but whoever returned it already took that offer on the download card. So again, this is a good album. It's just I'm not like a huge Jack White fan. He's kind of after my time, but I'm glad I picked it up. And any album you buy like this will come with all the secrets as of now. I don't know if it gets discontinued, if that will be in the future, but it's kind of cool having all the The inside's also black, which you don't rarely see. Yeah, I don't think you normally. Oh, it comes with the just the lyrics as well. I don't know if I showed that. But yeah, I kind of got it more on the novelty, but the songs are good. The songs are good, and I'll probably give this a few more spins. That is my January 2019 pickups. Until next time, take care.